Hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Warships Blitz with Terry. Today we are looking at French Supercruisers because they're new. And generally when a new branch in the tech tree line comes out, I kind of start at the beginning-ish, or where I think most people will start going through. But in this case, we are starting at tier 10 with the Marseille. Why are we starting at tier 10? Because these are French supercruisers. And if you've been around here for a while, I am not particularly fond of supercruisers. So I figured we'll start with the tier 10 and see if it's actually worth even looking at the rest of them. So we'll do it the other way around this time. And yeah, this is the Marseille. To nobody's great surprise, the Marseille didn't exist. Even blueprints or the idea for the Marseille didn't exist. I mentioned that a video or two ago that sometimes I do get the feeling that with the ship skills at the moment, there's a tendency to throw all the possible ship skills into a hat and then draw 3 out of them and then saying, hey, look, new combination of things, new line or new premium ship. This sort of feels the same way if somebody had taken all kinds of ideas that had a certain French feel to them, threw them in a bag, and then drew some out of them to get a supercruiser. Because the French didn't design or build supercruisers or battle cruisers, especially not in this time period. This thing, well, it has at first glance, it has a very definite Nelson-esque feel to it. But I think this is probably based on one of the early designs for the Richelieu class, because that was when the French were trying to decide what to build to match the Italians, and the Italians came up with Littorios, and that's where these sort of things ended up eventually. But this looks like one of the early project designs for the Richelieu class, albeit with different guns. So let's have a look and compare things. I don't even know what to compare to be honest. First of all, we're going to need to throw these out. Let's compare it to, I don't know, the Henri. Because the Henri I don't like particularly either, but at least it's more of a traditional layout. But let's have a quick compare and see how this looks. So we are getting the engine boost 3, 4 of them, same as on the Henri. We get the rapid reload 3, but we also already get 4 charges on the Marseille. We get on top of that, we get defensive AA1 and sonar, a single charge. So that's already quite interesting. The Marseille has a relatively large hit point pool, but she also has cruiser armor. She has, for a cruiser, pretty decent armor, but that thing is massive. It's a super cruiser. So 46,000 hit points is not terrible, but yeah, the armor is obviously lacking for a ship that size. It's better than the Henri, but then that's not particularly difficult. She's not quite as speedy and as maneuverable as the Henri, but she has bigger guns. Where the Henri is sporting 240mm guns, this thing is sporting 330mm guns, which should look somewhat familiar because these are probably the guns from the Dunkerque at tier 6. The predecessor, the pocket Richelieu, if you want. Then on top of that, there is a relatively sizable secondary battery of 139mm guns, which again is quite obscure because the Richelieu design would have had 150s. So this thing sort of looks... where is she? Hang on. There. This thing sort of looks like one of the early designs before they got to the Richelieu, layout-wise, but then with significantly scaled down guns, because the Richelieu designs obviously were supposed to be having the 380s and 150mm secondaries, and then this thing gets sort of like a notch down on both, if you know what I mean. Let's keep comparing. Yeah, so she has a secondary battery, but she doesn't get any torpedoes. The AA is, I mean, it's not monstrous, but it's not terrible either. So that's not an AA cruiser, but she can shoot the occasional plane down. She can definitely not defend herself against a concentrated carrier attack, but she can shoot the occasional plane down. And the concealment is obviously worse than on the Henri because that thing's massive. So it's not quite battleship level of concealment, but it's definitely over 10 kilometers on a base concealment. So what's the point of these things? Well, you could call them a battle cruiser, but I think that would actually give them too much credit because battle cruisers traditionally were actually having, armament that was comparable to battleships, but they didn't have the armor. Instead, they had the speed to disengage when needed. This thing does not. So this is more of the large cruiser, supercruiser variant here, or cruiser killer variant. So things like Stalingrad, things like the Puerto Rico or Alaska, this sort of thing. What are we going to do with it? Well, you get the choice between you don't have a choice for an elite bonus because there's only one that makes sense, which is the elite gun operator. The other thing that I forgot to mention, look at the reload on these guns. We're going to see it because this is already the build up. I'm going to have to go back into the comparison. They have an 18-second base reload. You know what else has? Hang on. I'm going to have to do this now. Let's put... we're at tier 10, so not quite sure if these two had that, but how do I... There we go. Add to list and add to list. Can't quite remember the Schlieffen. No, Schlieffen had 20, but I think the Große Kurves had 19. No, yeah, the Große Kurves had 19. I thought one of the Germans had actually 18, but might have misremembered. Anyway, 18 seconds on 330 millimeter main guns. Now that said, give me my filter back, otherwise I'm not going to find anything there. That said, she does get the rapid reload. So with that, it'll halve it. So that goes down to 9 seconds for 15 seconds flat out. Still, that is relatively long. That's a pretty long reload. Where were we? So what you want to do is drop that reload down if possible. And I've dropped it down by using the elite gun operator, obviously. Then equipment-wise, you would be tempted to put the main battery mod 2 in there. But the Marseille has a problem. Because these guns, even with the turret traverse module, have a turret traverse of 7.7 seconds. They have battleship turret traverse, almost. And the ship itself is way more maneuverable and has actually, once it's full in, has a pretty good max traverse speed. So you're constantly out-turning your guns. So reload's not an option. You need the main battery mod 1. And as we all know, propulsion in slot 2 is a no-brainer. And I am actually sailing with concealment in this thing. Because, armor, not so much. And big ship and damage pinata. Also, the range of 14 kilometers is a bit on the short side for what's this essentially battleship caliber guns, but well, it is what it is. The camouflage. I have put the circle camo on just in case somebody really feels like without that everything's even worse. So that gives us a bit of hit points, range, and dispersion. Now, I am assuming that if somebody really likes this tier 10s, that they would actually eventually spend some gold into getting the historical camo, so I'm doing that. But yeah, I think you're starting to hear a little bit of a tone here. Captain skills. Let's go through it. Captain skills. I have the battlefield support, which gives us sonar and air defense because she gets both, so it gives an extra of each, and the air defense expert. But I am not using the recon and surveillance. Instead, the exploit weakness to try and do a little bit more damage. And we're going to have to talk about these guns later. Given that she has 4 rapid reloads to begin with and no precise aim, you can go for a survival build, and you're going to need to because extinguisher obviously, and master reloader obviously, and also engine overload obviously. You will eventually want the APCS. Even though it's... Okay, well, we'll get to that in a minute. So, what bush am I beating around here? This ship's absolute garbage. And I'm sorry, I might be slightly biased because I really dislike large cruisers. But this ship is not fun to play. The armor piercing on these guns is abysmal. The high explosive isn't great either. The reload is way too slow. And the maneuverability is great. The armor isn't holding up against anything. And yeah, the dispersion is hilariously inaccurate. I mean, if you've played the Dunkirk, then you know what kind of a shotgun these guns are. Well, yes, but that works because it's tier 6 and everybody's just derping around in the battlefield, and you can, with a relatively speedy little battle cruiser, which doesn't have the greatest armor, but has the Richelieu forward layout, and you can get into point blank range and do something. In tier 6. In tier 10, well. Alright, let me show you. The first battle we're playing is center control on cage, and it is a 4v4 because it's quiet. And look at this. We are a cruiser killer, right? We are a supercruiser, a designated cruiser killer with enhanced anti-aircraft capabilities. It's a bot Haku, and we're playing against Petro, Worcester, and double Shima. So we do have sonar, and we have defensive AA, and all kinds of things. Let's see how this turns out. It's a center control map. We've got the forward layout. The C turret is 360, by the way, so you can swing this around quite a little bit and just play the ship nose in. So let's get ourselves into the capture circle, engine boost up. We've got a Somers on our side and I believe a Buffalo and Harugumo. So given the amount of bots, there should be a decent amount of fires that you can set, and just general fun to be had. Probably have to be a little bit careful with the Worcester, but other than that, we are a cruiser killer. This should be ideal. No battleship calibers, nothing. Notice, there are 2 Shimas, so we cannot just rush in. The maneuverability of this thing, given its size, is actually not terrible. And yeah, thanks, Somers. But the maneuverability of this thing isn't actually terrible. So I'm thinking, okay, where am I going to position myself? The concealment module isn't terrible, but there's Shimas there, so I'm going to keep the island between myself and everything else. And there's a Petro, and there's a Botzau, so I'm not going to care about the Botzau, but shots at the Petro. And sorry for not keeping an eye on, but sonar up, there's the Shima. I need to and we have missed the Petro, obviously. But let's try to hit the Shimakaze, because he's just taken a nasty old hit. So just poke the nose around. Yep, overpens. So too big of a caliber with armor piercing at this range. And not even going to hit him anymore. Oh, there's the other Shima, I believe. So, or maybe that was one of the bots dropping, but yeah. Okay, we need to kill those bots. Point blank range, Zao, secondaries out, everything, fire everything. And we're already taking a fair amount of damage. And we're not doing actually anything in return. There's another torpedo coming around. Ow, yeah, there's definitely a Shima around somewhere on the right side. Damacon the Flood. A couple more shots, maybe at long range. We can do something about that Shima. But the problem is we're actually going to have to hit him, which isn't really happening. Don't worry, we'll be looking at the dispersion later. So for now, Worcester, fully broadside. And there's the other Shima, so I'm gonna get out of here. If he doesn't want to contest the cup, be my guest. But shots out at the Worcester, 10 kilometers, shots going in. There come the Shima torps, that's why I'm sort of have to be careful. One hit, yay! That's why I need to look around a little bit to make sure that I'm keeping an eye on my surroundings. There's Petro, there's Worcester. Okay, another salvo out at Worcester. Worcester is in the turn, so we'll put it kind of central. And yep, one hit. Let's try to focus on the Petro again. You will notice now you're going to use the reload booster, which will actually cause the ship to do some significant amount of fire. And the Petro is giving me somewhat of a broadside, so we can kind of get the shots out. Nope. Let's try that again. And there comes the Shimakaze around, which is probably going to be torpedo. Oh, he just ran into the torpedoes of something. Oh dear, the Somers just screwed that up. Shima took him out. Now I have a Worcester at point blank range to shoot at. Okay. Even this thing cannot possibly miss. Let's see what she can do against Worcester at point blank range. That wasn't bad, actually. That wasn't bad. But I'm now getting hammered by Worcester and Petro. So I'm actually going to need to get out of here, because Petro is probably going to kill me otherwise. And there comes the aircraft carrier. So I'm already out of hit points, so I'm going to run away bravely, which gives the Worcester a chance to heal up. A Citadel would have been nicer too, but maybe we can still grab that Worcester. A couple more shots out. Dodge those torpedoes. 3 hits out of 9, yeah. That wasn't actually a bad salvo. And I think at this point we can use the rapid reload again, see if we can do something about the Worcester. You will notice that we're 4 minutes into this battle and I haven't even done 30,000 points of damage yet. Hey, we got the Worcester. Okay, maybe I can unload at the carrier a little bit and farm a little bit of damage, but I am perilously low on hit points. Nope. I am extremely low on hit points, so fortunately Petro is dead. But it's just the carrier and something. So and one of the Shimas that's left. So given that we're holding the gap, the bot Des Moines got himself torpedoed by the Shima presumably. Okay, so that's the carrier down. That just leaves the Shima. I'm very low on hit points, to the point that probably two Shima torps is going to be enough to kill me. So I'm asking the Buffalo. You go and cap, and I'll give you a fire support. I've got the HE loaded, and I'm out of sonar, but he's more maneuverable and he's got more hit points than I do. So I'm going to sit behind this ledge here, where Shima cannot see me, and Shima's never going to win on points. But I'd rather have the Shima dead than have to wait for another 2 minutes and give him an opportunity to drop some stealthy torpedoes. So that's why I'm asking Buffalo to go into the capture circle and effectively flush the Shima out, because he doesn't know where I am. Buffalo's got enough hit points. Oh, there he is. Okay, hello, Shima. Yeah, you did not know that I'm here, right? Okay. Surprise! Rapid reload on. And Shima panic smokes. But that should be enough to take... Nope. Of course it wasn't. Point blank range. What are you thinking? It's French. There's the Shima. Hello. You probably have torpedoes loaded, but yeah, that was never going to work. So that's the Shima dead. How much did we do in total? 45,000 points of damage. 45,000 points of damage in this battle. And we haven't even been fighting battleships. We've only been fighting cruisers most of the time, which is what we were specifically designed to kill, presumably, if this is a supercruiser. So, yeah, I was still coming second in the team because there's always somebody who can do worse than you, but let's do that again because pain. And this is the second battle, a full 7v7. I haven't seen that in a while. Haku, Großer Kurfürst, Double Yama, Conqueror, Hindenburg, and Zhao. No destroyers, but a carrier, which I am presumably somewhat destined to deal with because I have Def AA and everything, but we do also have a Manfred von Richthofen, so he may be able to carry a sniper Haku if he's going for it. We'll find out. Anyway, off we go, and yeah, we're spawning on the complete wrong flank because everyone's going to come through A from the enemy team. And I do not wish to be there when they do that. So I'm gonna turn around. And I'm gonna bravely run away. In the best tradition. Also, that gives me a chance to give some AA support against the carrier, and I'm going to run away, engine boost up for max acceleration, and just get the heck out of here. I do not wish to be on the edge of everything. So we're obviously air spotted because yeah. Of course we are, but so far no one seems to be shooting at us. Def AA up. Let's see with fighter support what we can do about these dive bombers. We're getting a couple of them, so that works reasonably well. There's a Zhao at 13 kilometers, shots out, but I need to kind of look where I'm going here, so I don't have time to keep an eye on these shots. And 2, yes, 1 semi-pen, 1 full pen. But you would say, Terry, why are you firing at this thing from 13 kilometers? You need to get closer. Yeah, about that. Alright, so we found ourselves a position from which we can give some fire support. There's a großer Kurfürst. And let's start unloading at the großer Kurfürst and see what we can do with these 330mm guns. And the answer is that wasn't bad. That was 8 out of 9 shots. I'm fairly surprised. So maybe this will work. Let's see. Let's unload at the großer Kurfürst and see what kind of damage we can inflict on that thing. Okay, that was more. Okay. Okay. Yep. Straddling splashes all around. One bounce. One semi-pen. Okay. There we go. That's more like what we're used to. So yeah, we are sort of getting a little bit of penetration from the armor piercing, but not an awful lot. Now I could try to fire the high explosive, but the high explosive is terrible on this ship as well. It's not great fun, especially not with that rate of fire, and with the propensity to hit maybe one or two of a full salvo. So see if we can do something about the stern of that Yamato, which has the very questionable, nope, very questionable, I don't know what that is. It's just a G.I. Joe camo or something. But we can't really go any more further forward because there is a Conqueror as well. And another Yamato over there in A Cup. And that's the reason why I did not want to be in A Cup. So we're doing, how would one call it? We're scratching the paint of the Yamato a little. Yeah, there you go. We dinged it a little. I mean, he's gonna, yep, he's gonna sink eventually if we fired him for long enough. But yeah, you started to see a pattern there, right? Okay, let's use the friendly Yamato as a meat shield, and we still got a decent amount of health. That was a decent one, a Conqueror. Fully broadside Conqueror and a Yamato right behind him, so probably if we're missing the Conqueror, we can actually hit the Yamato. So let's see if that's happening. Oh, shots coming in from the other side. These were aimed at me. Ow. Okay, let's get out of here. One hit at the Conqueror. And yeah, again, sorry, I'm really trying to to focus on the target, but I do need to keep an eye on where I'm going. We are shedding ships. Our Black Montana is dead. That Yamato is going to have to hold. We're holding 2 of the capture circles, but there is a Takao looping around the northern side of things. So I'm figuring, I'm giving a bit a bit of long-range fire support for the Yamato, and he should be able to deal with a low-health Conqueror and a low-health Yama by himself, right? So. Nope, there's the Yamato still. Okay, full in reverse, panic, and shots out at the Yamato. Dispersion says, that wasn't terrible, but there's the Zao. That's the one I was kind of having an eye on. So I'm going to try to defend in the north here. I'm going to have to go defensive against the Yamato and try to do something against the cruiser, because I am a cruiser killer, right? So let's kill ourselves a cruiser. And, nope. Hey, we've got 2 pens and a semi-pen. And the Zao was like, oh no, I'm being shot at by a cruiser killer. Okay, that was pretty good. I'm being shot at by a cruiser killer. Whatever will I do? Nope. Zao stops. Probably got torpedoes away. So I am going to have to be a little bit careful here. But he's sitting broadside on, right? And of course, it's a triple fire. He is sitting... Nope. He is sitting broadside on. And I am just not getting anything done. He's going to burn me down before I can kill this damn thing. And now he goes undetected. Because he just, stopped firing for a second. I mean, it's fine. My guns weren't reloaded anyway. But looks like Yamato is... I'm going to lose this gunfight against the Zao. I'm going to have to get a little closer here. Nope. Full splash over. And of course I'm on fire. So I'm going to die. But my mission right here, because it's just a carrier and me, I'm going to die. But I'm going to try and get these two clowns here distracted from the capture circles for long enough, and maybe at point blank range I can do something about that Zao. Nope. Point blank range, 6 kilometers. Nope. There come the torpedoes. Another salvo out. Need to dodge those. Nope. Still alive. And I'm dead. But I would say mission accomplished, because these guys are now so far away from the capture circles. And it looks like that other battleship is not going for the cup. He's going for the carrier kill. So all that Richthofen now has to do is run away. I should have done that actually a minute ago. But he has to survive for another 54 seconds. Because we're ahead on points. We're holding 2 of the capture circles. The other 2 are never going to get to the capture circles back in time, or by that for that means in shooting range of the Richthofen. So that Yama has to kill the Richthofen. Richthofen needs to run and potentially go undetected. That would be ideal. And maybe not give as much broadside to the Yamato. Maybe turn right a little bit. I know he's directly at the map border, but. Just focus on running away and surviving. You don't need to kill that Yama. We're going to win on points. Oh, okay. Yama shells fell short. 15 seconds. And I think that if the next salvo doesn't kill him... Okay. Now he's turning. That's good. And the Yamato is sort of giving chase, but he might have gone undetected. It's got a heal coming up, and that's it. The Richthofen survives. Well done, Manfred von Richthofen. And the plan has worked. To just distract these other 2 sufficiently in the north. How did we lose our full health Yamato in the center, by the way, against the Conqueror that was on no hit points? I don't even know. But yeah, this was a good game. We've been fighting a lot of things. We've done 58,000 points of damage, which puts us squarely into the 5th place of the team. It's always comforting that someone can still do worse than you, but yeah, long story short, the ship's absolute garbage. And yes, I might be biased because I can't stand Supercruisers in the first place, because they're wannabe battleships that can't hurt anybody properly, and maybe except for the Stalingrad. And don't have battleship armor, but have battleship maneuverability and size. And... on top of that, that thing is not very good at supercruisering either, because killing cruisers in this thing is actually hard work, because even at short range, you can't hit the buggers. So, yeah, no. I'm done. If you want to convince me to review the Tier 8 and Tier 9, then I will take that request, but alcohol will have to be involved. So... Nope. A very large nope from me. And that's it for me today. Thanks everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.